What's going on, everybody? Want to jump on here and provide you with some insights on how you can be successful with our GeoGebra assignments. To give you some background, GeoGebra is going to be a platform that we can use for our engineering sketches. So, with that being said, typically you're going to have two options. Some students will prefer to have the instructions and the GeoGebra platform on the same screen. Others may prefer to have them in separate tabs so they can toggle back and forth within um, their browser. So I just wanted to point that out because sometimes that can be confusing and it's not clearly written in a lot of places, but just in case anyone was curious about that. So for you all, you will be looking to draw this as your ending result. I've provided you some step-by-step instructions. I used rectangular grid. You won't be using rectangular, so with the intent that you learn how GeoGebra works. But I do want to make sure that you are aware how to do this. So before I show you the tools, what you're going to need to be familiar with is a little bit of the platform. Okay. So when you get onto GeoGebra, this is going to look a little bit like Desmos. If you have never used Desmos, that is fine. I am going to jump into this as if you've never used anything before. So over here to the left, you'll see that you have an algebra calculator. If you click this middle button, here are your tools. These are going to be extremely useful for us. You will also have a table option. However, we're going to focus on tools for today. And we are also going to focus on this gear because if we refer back to the original directions, the first instruction set says to navigate to the website. We are there. The second says to use this gear. And it requests us to change our grid. So what do we mean by grid? If you look back here, these boxes that you've plotted points on before, that's our grid. In today's lesson, we'll be focusing on no grid. However, I do want to make sure you are all aware on what is called isometric grid paper, because we will be using that in the future. But for today, we're going to have no grid. The other piece that we're going to want to do is shut off our axes. So right here, it says show axes. We're going to uncheck that so we have a blank canvas. Perfect. Now, want to make you aware of how some of these tools work. So if you scroll all the way down within basic tools, these are going to be the most popular tools. However, we are going to end up using some of the tools that are not as popular. So I want to make sure that all of the tools are available to you rather than just some of them. And if your screen looks a little bit different than this and all of your tools are listed above, don't worry, you have a previous version, but it will all work the exact same. So with that being said, what we're going to do is I want to just show you all some differences in these tools. So some of you will prefer to treat this as if you are actually drawing. So you'll probably prefer to use this pen tool. And what I mean by that, let's say that we wanted to, I don't know, draw a star. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to draw a star. And as you can see, my star is a little bit, we'll call it messy. So something that other students may prefer to do is they will use the line segment tool. And the line segment tool will allow students to do a much neater version. Does this still need to be manipulated? Absolutely. So that's why you can use these move aspect buttons. That's going to allow you to make a much better star. So we're using the technology to clearly show the design that we are looking for, right? So maybe we'd want it to be a little bit more inside, all 5 points perfectly there. I'm hoping you can see the idea. It's not that this is bad, it still shows the idea this one's neater, right? I'm all about just trying to communicate the ideas. This is not an art class. I'll give you a different example. Some of you may be drawing freehand and you'll get something like that. Others may want more of a circle. So circle with a center, there's our circle. Some of you may come down and you'll start using the freehand shape. Now, the freehand shape is a tool that's going to kind of be like a smart tool. It's going to take your shape and assume it knows what you're drawing. Sometimes that can be wonderful, other times it can be frustrating because if I wanted to draw, say, something like that, and that's the shape I wanted, perfect. But if I was to, I don't know, draw something like that, it's not going to interpret anything. So I'd have to go back to the pen. So with that being said, we're all bound to make mistakes. What do I do if I make a mistake? You are going to have a variety of options, okay? This button right here, if it's the last thing that you did and you click undo, undo. If you want to continuously click undo, this is going to remember every one of your steps, okay? Every one of your steps. The other piece here is this delete button. If you click delete, and I want to go right here, it's going to delete whatever I click. Okay. Some other options. I'm not going to go through all of these because I think once you all start using them, it will certainly be easier. But an ellipse may be something that you all will find beneficial. Okay. So we have our 2 foci points and we finish the ellipse with a third part. You can also use this circle with 3 points if you are trying to expand upon it. Okay. With that being said, I believe that I've shown you all the tools that you will need. Some of you may get into some items within GeoGebra that are beneficial but not necessary. For example, some of you may want to use some of these color tools. Again, not necessary, but an option. Thank you so much for watching. Looking forward to what you all create.